energy.ny.gov.
3 seconds.
So yeah. I was like, it's like kind of funny after all this.
That's Nikki. They weren't silent.
Mute her.
I did. And I'm like, who's on here? I can hear Nikki.
Like, who's talking to me?
She wasn't using profanity like her father.
I think she wasn't using profanity. What?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Let's see, is there a motion for this evening's agenda?
So moved.
Second, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Public comment? Please provide your name, address, limit your comments to 3 minutes or less till everyone has a chance to speak. Anybody? Gary?
Very little 21 Summer Road. In the budgets that you're going to approve tonight, the vouchers, I was under the impression that the .1 account for personnel, that you seem to be paying contractors out of the personnel account. And like that, so that, and then I was wondering if at some point you're gonna be making the appointments to the Climate Smart town board members and the different people. That's the only thing, that's my only comments.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to communications. Michelle.
Don't have any.
Okay, Mr. Voorhees.
Well, yeah, we paved Mill Road. And we paved our end of Dalton Road. Dalton Hill Road's been striped and the signs are all down, so we're done with that section of Dalton Hill Road. We're supposed to fog seal Williams tomorrow morning. The weather doesn't look good. Now we're starting brush pickup on Monday. The company is there, they've ground all the brush that's at the highway garage and they're hauling that out now, giving us a little more room. And the concrete gutters for Plymouth Road are scheduled for the first week in October.
So all the brush you pick up this year will get ground next year, correct?
Yep. Yeah, we need room. They need to get out what was ground. And they're working at it.
Okay.
It's probably 2/3 gone
So you didn't start today, you're starting next Monday?
Monday.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody questions? Okay, move on to Mr. Fromberg.
Updates from DOT, they said we could close the road if we'd like to. I've had some additional discussions with them back and forth. We could do cones and put barriers at the end of Stony Lonesome. Other than that, we're working through the process. We're on our 4th revision to Assembly Drive with them. Different things there, from tearing out roads to fixing the sidewalk on the other side of the road to piping and catch basins, and so we'll see how it all plays out. But we're getting close on that. There is a form for your signature on the 13th Victor Menden Road, which is finally got the use and occupancy permit, it's called. It's basically saying that the town will take ownership of the retaining walls along that stretch. And if the DOT wants to remove them in the future, they can, or if the town wants to abandon them, they can in the future. But it just was a retaining wall that needed to have ownership assigned to it because it was not on their record books as them being installing it or maintaining it. So that's all I have.
Do they have any updates on the railing for that wall?
Railing, I believe that it was accepted.
Okay.
But I have not had final confirmation on that.
So
I'm guessing that the process will be, we finish the use and occupancy permit process, then they'll kick it into permit. It sounded like permit was ready to go. So
Okay.
Either they will do one more final review and have maybe another round of comments, or we'll have a permit and be ready to start that project in the spring.
It's gonna be a spring.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I did talk to Mike, one of the owners along the street there. probably 3 to 4 weeks ago, I indicated that to him that it would be more likely a spring construction. project. So,
I was just curious if you thought we're gonna get it in this fall.
yeah, and talking with the contractor, at the time, he did not think that he could get it done. And so I relayed that to Mike. If we can, and if things change, I'll let you know. So
Sure.
it might be
So-
good.
But once we get the permit, we're good to go.
Yes, once you get
Gotcha.
the permit, you're good to go.
Gotcha. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Tough part will be the scheduling and the concrete. Because if we replace a sidewalk, that's gonna be cold weather concrete placement. So
Well,
we haven't had the best.
Yeah, it'll probably be cold patch asphalt or it could be just left as gravel condition. I think he said he did not need to remove the sidewalk, so
Okay.
he felt that he could get it in there in that space, but if something did happen that required it.
I thought that was the last I remember, is he said he could do it without, he hoped he could do it without.
He didn't see the
sidewalk. Okay. Brent?
I've had the MCVA meeting recently. The Mendon Festival was a success. They had a couple of dancers down there, KE Dance Studio, Dunleavy Irish Dance, and the Honey Falls C Team cheerleaders also had a performance down there. The Holidays in the Hamlet is coming up. I reminded them of our schedule if they were looking for the town to sponsor anything and the procedures that needed to be done for quotes. Planning board had a meeting. The gas station in the Hamlet came back with 3 options for the canopy after they talked to their home office, had reviewed what they were looking at. The home office wanted a few changes. Good conversation at the planning board, and a conditional approval was issued. There was also a 3-lot subdivision on Cheese Factory Road down around Chamberlain. Planning board needs more information, and the applicant will be coming back after they get the information to the planning board. I have been contacted by some residents with regards to the ambulance and emergency services discussion that we had last month. I just want to be clear that I fully support a strong emergency services in the village to provide services to the town. However, that has to be with prudent allocation of taxpayer funds. And right now I have concerns of the current formula that I would like to see answered before I feel comfortable moving forward with that. That's all that I have.
Kim?
I just want to congratulate the highway department for receiving the work zone safety grant for safety equipment. And remind that I am unable to attend this week's ZBA meeting, so hopefully somebody can help fill in. If not, I'm sure Brooke can fill us in.
Yes.
And then I just want to notify the board that I am out of town October 8th through October 12th.
Jim?
I don't have anything the Legion did meet, since our last meeting, but unfortunately I wasn't able to attend.
A couple of things that I did mention at the previous meeting is that Fountain Hill Road and 64 is gonna become a 4-way stop. They put up some notifications in the last couple of days when I went through there yesterday. And their intention is to make it into a traffic circle eventually, but I don't know when that is gonna happen. But the 4-way stop, I forgot the date. I think it's later this month, isn't it?
Mhm.
So that's gonna be a big change and for people, but I think it's a good thing personally. The youth center, I've had 3 inquiries about the job. We have 2 people coming back. We really need 4 people. That only 2 people work at a time, but you need 4 people to adequately staff it. 3 people have inquired about the job. I've met with 2 of them. No one has returned an application as of this point. So I don't feel comfortable opening or having anything like that till we could properly staff it. Because I know who's gonna end up there if we don't have enough staffing. I did produce a letter to the mayor in response to the ambulance contract, and I subsequently, Brett and I had a meeting with our insurance agent who provided some information that should be included in the letter as far as indemnification and hold harmless and insurance, and additionally insured, all that kind of language. So that was incorporated into the letter this morning. I sent it out to the town board. Everyone seemed to be in favor. I just wanted to know, do you want to physically sign it, or would you like me to just put your names at the bottom?
I'm
Yes.
okay with my name at the bottom.
Okay,
So am I.
all right, so I will, that'll go out tomorrow. Let's see, went to the Monroe County Supervisors meeting on Friday, and I would say the opinion, not every town was represented, but there's a majority of the towns in Monroe County. The opinion there was pretty glum. They, but because it was all about the budget. And everyone is feeling the pressures budget. There's several towns that are expecting to go, not only raise taxes, but to go beyond the cap, significantly beyond the cap. So I feel lucky in that regard. Let's see, our fiscal score is in. I sent that to everybody that came from New York State. We are, be below any, and not even in the neighborhood of any kind of fiscal issues from the state. So that was good news. Let's see, we'll move on to Supervisor's Monthly Report.
I'll make a motion to acknowledge receipt of the supervisor's monthly report for August 2025.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I did have one question. We talked about this a few months ago. The one account has a negative balance in there. And we talked about that was because that we're moving money around, minimizing the number of accounts. Will that remain a negative balance until the end of the year, or is that when we
You're
do
talking
the
about the
corrections?
PA fund and M&T.
Yes.
So that is the checking account into M&T. So at the time that they produced this, it's a timestamp thing.
Right.
So that is the money is moved from the money market into the checking account. And so at that point, it is in the negative.
Okay.
Anything else? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Let's see. Minutes, these are from 2 weeks ago on September 8th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting held on September 8th, 2025 as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Next is the 2025 budget modification additional line.
I'd make a motion to add the line A3510.2 for dog control equipment to the 2025 town budget.
I'll second that.
And as we've talked, we now have to provide a vehicle for the dog control officer. And this provides the funding. Haven't found one yet, but we're working on it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Next is the
Budget adjustments. I'll make a
Budget.
motion to approve the budget adjustments as listed in our agenda.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Vouchers?
I'll make a motion to approve all claims on vouchers number 25-471 to 25-493 on general abstract 2509C in the amount of $92,646.95.
I'll second that.
No. I move to remove check number 482 payable to HFL Community Programs from the list of items for full approval, which I will be recusing myself from this item as I personally benefit from the payment and it's part of my salary.
You're not saying we should remove paying for it? You're
Nope,
not gonna vote.
just remove that one check from the whole pile so I can approve the rest of the checks And then you guys can approve just that one, and I can recuse myself.
Is it this one here, Kim, underline 482?
It is, yep, check number, or well, yeah, voucher
Voucher
482.
So that entire voucher?
Yes,
Okay.
So procedurally, what it sounds like is with that motion, it will just create another motion to follow after this one. So if that motion's successful, then it will be separated. Then there'll be a motion on all the remaining vouchers and then a subsequent motion and second on just that one, giving you the opportunity to recuse yourself. That's what it sounds like procedurally. Okay.
So Jim moved it. Did someone second it?
I second that.
So Jim, do you wanna?
So do you want me, and then,
So that was moved and seconded. Now there was a motion to pull that out. And if there's a second, then there can be a vote on whether to pull out that one voucher.
I'll second Kim's motion.
Any other discussion? All in favor of pulling that one out?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
Okay, so now.
So are you abstaining from that vote, Kim?
yes.
Okay. Just wanted to double check.
Well, no.
So what I would do now is go back to the original. That original one where is now all
All of
vouchers
them, but-
other than that one.
Right.
And there can be a vote on that. And then there's gonna be one more vote on just that voucher, is my understanding.
Okay, very good.
want me to do the math?
Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve all claims on vouchers 25,471 to 25,493, accepting voucher number 482 and the amount of $38,000, $38,152 from the previous total.
I will
that amount's
second
coming
that.
off the previous total or that?
38,000 comes off the previous total. I didn't have time to do the math.
Sorry.
I will
Way to
second
go,
that.
Kelsey.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Next,
Now I will make a motion to approve voucher number 482 in the amount of $38,152.
I will second that.
any discussion?
I am going to recuse myself from this because I do benefit from that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any, in one?
Abstain. Yeah, recuse.
Thanks.
Thank you. Highway abstract C.
I'll make a motion to approve all claims on vouchers numbered 25-298 to 25-310 on Highway Abstract 2509C in the amount of $123,757.51.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Move on to tentative budget discussion. I did talk to the majority of town board members regarding the budget. There were some changes that were suggested by various individuals, and we can here. We can go down through these if you'd like to discuss, or we can do it as a whole. A few things have changed since the tentative budget came out, and just for explanation purposes, the tentative budget not required to be on our website. It is not required to have any of the things that the preliminary budget must have. Like a schedule of elected officials' salaries, things like that. I had Michelle put it on the website just for transparency, so that, if anybody wanted to see it, they could.
Mhm.
Obviously, if the board approves the preliminary budget, that will be put on the website and will be available downstairs in paper form, and that will have the elected official's salary, it'll have the exemption report. We'll have everything that is legally required in the preliminary budget. So, I don't, if anybody wants to talk about any of these things, I'd be more than happy to.
I think one thing that we talked about was keeping the town board salary flat this year, 0% instead of an increase. Also looking at decreasing the supervisor salary by $1,400 and the superintendent of highway salary by $900. And what my thought was behind that was, you know, as elected officials, we have a duty towards our employees. And I think we recognize that the cost of living is going up and we cannot always include pay increases that reflects the cost of living. I think with those reductions, I think we can bump up the longevity pay some to give some recognition in that fashion. I understand it's not a pay increase for, say, a salary increase, but I do think it will be something that helps morale around the town hall, town
right.
forces.
Let's take those. Anybody have any comments on those items? I would just say that I'm not a big fan of this. This is not a lot of money, but I'm not a big fan. And one of the reasons I'm not is that one of my predecessors in this position lowered the salary significantly over a period of time, which, you know, you're never going to catch up in the future when it comes to an elected person. Or I shouldn't say you never, it's very, very hard to. So I tend to think that normally they should follow the same as everyone else. Obviously, anybody who is elected is not, you know, there's nothing that says that you're full-time or part-time if you're in an elected position. However, there are certain positions that are full-time positions, what in my mind, being highway superintendent, town clerk, and town supervisor in our town, a town our size. So I'm willing to go with that, but I don't want, I hope that that's not a precedent going forward for the town board.
Well, I went from an employee to an elected official long ago. I think especially with long-term elected officials, I don't think it's abnormal to reduce the salary for someone that's been in the job for 30 years, has a certain amount of experience and knowledge, and somebody that's coming in brand new. I don't think that's inappropriate.
Correct.
I do think, and I know the case you're speaking of, that was done for purely political reasons, and that becomes a political thing. But I don't think some sort of reduction is necessarily inappropriate.
I agree, especially when personnel is changing.
Yeah, when there's I think that's a normal
Yes.
business type thing.
Great.
Another item to have in here is the planning board and the zoning board. Talked about this, the planning board chair and the zoning board chairs, currently we pay them per meeting. The responsibilities of those chairs is really much more than just a meeting. They spend a lot of time on phone calls, coming in to sign things. And I was thinking, instead of doing a per meeting, we give them a stipend to recognize the above and beyond duties that they have. So if I think currently we have those chairs getting $75 a meeting for up to 24 meetings, I was thinking we pay them a stipend of $1,800 to recognize the extra work that they're doing.
A year.
A year.
So as I mentioned, this is the setting the salary for anybody other than elected is not our duty at this point. The 2026 board can make that decision, but I think, you know, obviously we're planning on salaries. You got to plan on certain salaries to do the budget. So in going back over, I did find my notes, Brent, since we talked this morning, and going back over the reason the budget lines weren't increases. I felt that it wasn't that significant and that they could probably take that because, you know, quite frankly, the planning and zoning boards in my time here have never met 24 times.
Understood.
They meet when there's something on the agenda. And so I think we could probably absorb those amounts without increasing the lines of the budget.
Okay. And then finally, I think I understand that this would not be taken care of until January 1st, 2026 organizational meeting, but I think we should budget to increase our opt-out payment some. The numbers that I was looking at, I think currently we're looking at $350 a month for opt-out. I think we should budget to bump that up to $375.
And that was a question that was brought to my attention by at least one employee, because every year the healthcare goes up and our buyout for not taking healthcare has remained flat. For as long as we've had it, which is, I don't know, 10 years maybe.
Okay.
And that includes the longevity. Also, we would increase the longevity to reward employees that have been here for an extended period of time.
When does longevity kick in?
Year one.
Year,
So if you're, I shouldn't say year one, year two is when it kicks in. So year one, if you're hired December 30th, you don't, of this year, you would not get a longevity check next year, you'd get it the year after. So a couple of the ones that I had in error on the sheet I sent out last 2 weeks ago have been corrected.
Okay.
And then we did get a notice from New York State Retirement that, and this is typical, that they're changing the amounts due, and then thankfully Michelle has been able to appropriate the amount to the proper account. So that has changed some fairly substantially, a couple of months.
Okay, and that's been taken care of.
that's in here.
This.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And of course, our medical dental, when we were told probably 15, now we're being told 20 by the broker, 20% that is. And so we've adjusted that. I did adjust the L fund slightly down, because once again, it was a moving target when we started, so. But
One,
all the others went up.
one thing that I just noticed, give me a minute. I think it's correct in the budget line, but the sheet on the back. Payment for the judges. On that last sheet. Justices is listed as $22,001. I think that's 2025. I think that should be $23,101. Yeah, and the amount in the budget, I think, is consistent from the tentative to the proposed preliminary. So I think it's
So last year was 22,001
$1.
now.
Yes.
And so I'm
You have the elected officials on the final page of the
yeah,
packet.
I realize that.
Okay. It says $22,001. It should be $23,101.
So I must have taken last year's number. 3,101. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Anything else?
I think most of my questions when we met some of them had to do with salaries and things like that, like you said, will be figured out and adopted at the organizational meeting next year, but just glad to see that budgeted appropriately to allow the new board the flexibility.
Like I always say, just because it's in the budget, you don't have to spend it.
Absolutely.
Dare that, Tom?
But as taxpayers, we also don't want you to put it in the budget if you
Yes.
don't
Right,
need it.
it's a
Yeah.
it's a fine line.
Yeah,
To
absolutely.
retain,
Yeah.
talented employees, but also be responsible taxpayers. I want to thank John for your hard work of putting together the budget, but also increasing funding for the youth and the senior citizens, because I think that's important.
And I'll tell you, with our finance person, I'm just it's a great relationship. I think I'm hopeful that any future town boards continues that because she has picked up actually another town or two based on my recommendation. And she, well, Michelle, you work with them more than I do, but they're they're great to work with. They have the experience to, you know, tell you what you need to do and what you shouldn't do, and fund balance analysis. You know, it's really very professional.
It's a great resource to have.
It is a great resource to have. So at this point, let's see where we are on the agenda here. That's discussion. Anything else we want to discuss before we move on to the possibility of adopting the preliminary budget? Okay. Is there a motion to move the tentative to preliminary with the changes that we had discussed?
So moved.
Second,
Any further discussion?
did you want to do those separate resolutions, or did you want to establish the public hearing? In the same resolution?
I think we could establish the public hearing as well, right? Is that all right with
Okay,
everyone?
yeah, that's fine with me
Okay.
to establish a public hearing to be held at 7 PM or as soon therefore after a said hearing can be convened Monday, October 20th, 2025 at the Mendon Town Hall.
Any other discussion? We've got a motion in a second. Yep. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, great, thank you.
Thanks, John.
Capital improvement plan, this is to establish a public hearing. I distributed the capital improvement plan last month to everybody. And appreciate all the hard work that a lot of the employees put towards establishing this, especially Carter.
I'll make a motion to schedule a public hearing on the capital improvement program, 7 PM, Monday, October 20th, 2025, or soon thereafter, said hearing can be convened.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Next is the Fire Protection District. This is to establish a public hearing. And I will tell you that you all have a copy of the contract, and the amount is $265,007, $265,007.
So, I'll make a motion to schedule a public hearing on the 2026 fire protection contract for the Mendon Fire Protection District Number 1, 7 PM, Monday, October 20th, or as soon thereafter, as said hearing can be convened at the Mendon Town Hall, and the amount of the proposed contract is $265,007.
I'll second.
Any discussion? So this is based solely on assessed valuation. And as you can imagine, the assessed valuation in the fire protection district is considerably more than the assessed valuation in the village of Honeycomb Falls. Therefore, we're paying the majority of our residents in the fire protection district are paying the majority. This is a separate line that was on their budget in their county and town tax in 2026, and it is significantly higher. It is $1. Let's find it.
Yeah, in there.
Wrong spot. It's $1, almost $1.03 a thousand. And last year, or this year, excuse me, it was 80 cents.
Substantial increase.
That's substantial. Yep. And, you know, the Honey Falls has hired per diem firefighters, as I understand it, Monday through Friday from 8 to 4, give or take.
6 to 4.
What is it?
6 to 4.
6 to 4. So then, I'm sure has affected the contract.
Sure. And this is a formula that's set by the state legislature.
No, it's just based on assessed valuation. So if it was a district, it would be, if it was a district, that's how it would be taxed anyway. So that's why we've always kind of followed that. But
So we're required to do it this way, I guess is my point.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I don't believe so. As I understand it, it is, you know, like I say, if it was a district, it would be taxed this way. So that's kind of the way it's always been done, but I don't think it's required.
So
I know,
it could be negotiated.
yes, everything I've ever read, so they can negotiate.
Okay, thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Number 15, snow and ice control operations for local highway officials attendance.
I'll make a motion to approve the attendance of Highway Department employee Peter Doyle at the New York State LTAP Center, Cornell Local Roads Program Snow and Ice Control Operations for Local Highway Officials Workshop, October 14th, 2025. Fees for this workshop are provided by the Cayuga County Association of Town Superintendents.
Second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed. Recycle event?
I'll make a motion to hold a recycling event, easy for me to say, and rabies clinic at the Town of Mennon Falls Post 664 Community Center on Saturday, October 18th, 2025, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. This event will include, and am I correct in this? It will include shredding, it's just like the last event, electronics recycling, prescription drug disposal, and a rabies clinic.
I'll second.
Any discussion? We had it there last year and everyone seemed to like the location. Michelle, you felt that it worked better for rabies, having it inside, and you know, as long as it's not raining real bad,
Yeah.
hopefully we'll be okay. The sheriff's department and the county are have already been notified. We have the electronics recycling people and the shredding people all lined up. So once again, that's something we started a few years ago, and it really seems to be become very popular.
Is this something that we assist with?
Yes, I was gonna say, not looking for anything tonight, but if we probably need about half a dozen people, would you say, Michelle?
Yeah, I mean, rabies is covered, but the outside recycling part.
Yeah, if we had 4, 5, 6 people there, so if you can attend, let me know.
Okay.
And, if not, we'll look for some volunteers.
I'm curious, who'd you find for rabies? Our previous provider retired, right?
The new vet at Megan Booker, what was that her name, over at Canfield vet.
Okay.
Yep, I spoke with her again yesterday, so she's all set. She can bring some people with her and they're good to go.
Awesome.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Declaration of surplus.
Make a motion to declare the following items at the highway department as surplus and authorize their disposition. Computers ready to dispose with the service tags listed on our agenda, and then a computer needed to be wiped and then disposed with the service tag in their agenda. Monitors, modern numbers in our agenda.
Brent, there's a misprint there. It actually is equipment from town hall. So
I will revise my motion accordingly to be from town hall.
And I will, as the person that made the mistake, second it.
Any discussion? Because as long as we're having a recycle event, we might as well clear out our own closet.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, any opposed? Thank you. Move on to number 18, which is public comment. Anybody? Pete?
Just one thing that, Pete Doyle, 271 Sibley Road, just to go back to what Brent said about the ambulance contract and stuff like that. I think it'd be worth asking the question. I think the increase that they're looking for is for additional staffing for an additional crew, which is good, except they're running a lot of mutual aid calls out excessively outside of town of Mendon, town of Rush, and stuff like that. They're going to the city, they're going to the western suburbs and stuff like that. So primarily because there's a mutual assistance agreement in Monroe County, but they're getting called for mental hygiene calls and all those type of calls, and I think it's putting the Honey Falls Mendon ambulance out of service for an excessive amount of time. And then we're waiting for a mutual aid ambulance to come back into Mendon or Honey Falls to cover the calls there. So I think it would be worthwhile to ask a question of how many of these calls that they're responding to outside of our district. You know, if you're outside of the Honey Falls, Mendon, North Bloomfield contract area, because you know, so I think, you know, I think they try to bury a lot of these calls or whatever, but I think that would be a good question to ask.
Great. I know in their contract, they do show how many calls they have outside of that, but when Brent and I met with the mayor in March, we asked for further data, like how many times do other ambulance services come into the certificate of need area? And we did not receive that information, and we also asked, something else we asked for, I
With some financial data, how many calls are dropped.
yeah, drop
Right,
calls, that kind of thing. You know, I was reading a little bit about Onondaga County, and I'm a long ways from a knowledgeable person about emergency services, but you know, from what I could read, they either are or going to a countywide approach. And I think that Monroe County should, quite frankly, do the same thing. Is that they should look at more of a countywide approach for a lot of emergency services. Obviously, we're tucked in the corner of the county here and don't have a lot of, not close to a lot of the hospital services. But the way costs have escalated, volunteerism down, you know, the cost of running an ambulance in a small town like this is staggering, quite frankly. I mean, emergency services between the Mendon Fire District, Honey Falls Fire Department, the ambulance. I mean, just in my head, I know it's way over $1 million.
I think it's an interesting point Mr. Doyle brought up too about it's not just mutual aid, but it can be where is it?
Right.
If they're going and sitting at the emergency room at Strong for, I mean,
Right.
that's a long time to come back, so that might be part of the.
That is still an issue, is turnaround time at the hospital, emergency rooms. So that problem has not been resolved, even though, you know, Strong and Highland keep adding on and everything else. It's still
I talked to
still a
somebody,
problem.
excuse me, I'm sorry. I talked to somebody today who said they had to go to Strong and they were, you know, there's people in hallways and in hallways and beds and, you know, they're overwhelmed.
Been that way for years.
My son called me, he works at URMC, had an issue that they wanted him to look at. I went and picked him up and took him to FF Thompson instead of him going to the hospital that he was at because of the turnaround time. So.
It's pretty telling.
Okay, no more public comment. Gary,
To go along with the ambulance, I have a problem understanding why some of the ambulance services are in such dire need of either personnel or money or whatever. And then you look at other ones that are almost making money hand over fist. And they're well subsidized, they're, you know, they're not begging for money. I don't know if the differences lie. Maybe it's time that the local ambulance faces an audit type thing of somebody who knows what they should be looking for. Going in and saying, wait a minute, you spend 90% of your time outside town or whatever, and I'm sure it's not 90. Like, you know, maybe they need to, and I'm not sure even that Muffy would be able to do it, but you get somebody who knows ambulance service. But some services seem to do quite well. Maybe it's a matter of billing or whatever. The only other comment, and maybe the same thing with the fire department and seeing about costs. But the sidewalks that you're putting in. Out on Mile Square, you've got a developer developing property along where the sidewalks are. And as I understand it, the developer doesn't have to put the sidewalks in. And I don't know if that's the town's policy, and if it is the policy, possibly they should be looking at when a property is developed, the sidewalks are put in, or possibly a sidewalk fund, almost like a recreation fund, so that when sidewalks go through in front of somebody's house and they've already put it into the fund, they wouldn't have to pay to have the sidewalks installed. But I'm a little concerned that all the taxpayers are gonna have to pay for sidewalks that most towns would say the developer has to put them in.
Thank you.
That's it.
Is there a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Now, again. Our motions and our second.